So in the Old Testament, Joseph's brothers betrayed him in an awful way, actually. Basically, their betrayal equaled murder. They sold him to be a slave. So that meant a terrible life, and a short one at that. So this was heavy on their hearts and minds all the way through their years until they met Joseph again. And they could not let go of it. Obviously, the guilt was there that they murdered their brother, their little brother, even though they hated him still. So they felt that, also there was no one to forgive them. So this was really terrible, because they lived in their lives, and they knew they could never meet Joseph again, so he could never forgive them about it, if it were even possible. And their father, they could never tell him because they lied to him. So there was no one to forgive them, and therefore they were somehow unable to forgive themselves. And that's how they lived. This is how they lived their entire life while Joseph lived in Egypt. And it just got so entrenched in them that when Joseph actually, then they meet, Joseph forgives them, and they could not believe or accept it because it was so deeply entrenched in them. And see, this is something that can happen with us. We fail, but we never own up to it, and then the other person cannot forgive. Of course, maybe they wouldn't, even if we owned up to it. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee, but there's no one to forgive us. So this is a huge problem in the human psyche, and we carry it with ourselves, and we do crazy things because of it. And so what happened with Joseph's brothers was kind of like this, because Joseph forgave them, and he told them so. But then, years later, their father died, and then they were like worried if Joseph really did forgive. And actually, they could not believe that he did, and they could not accept it. And so in Genesis 50, from verse 17, they send a messenger to Joseph, and they say, "So shall you say unto Joseph, forgive, I pray you now." They say to Joseph that their father told them to speak to Joseph on their own behalf. So it's a crazy, convoluted story. So the point is, it's supposedly their father's message to Joseph, delivered by them. So they say in their father's name, "Forgive, I pray you now, the trespass of your brethren and their sin, for they did unto you evil. And now we pray you, forgive the trespass of the servants of the God of the Father." And Joseph wept when they spake to him, and his brethren also went and fell down before his face, and they said, "Behold, we are your servants." So, they make up this crazy convoluted story that their father told them to speak to Joseph. It's like, okay, whatever. I'm sure Joseph is sitting there like, what? And what is going on? And Joseph is weeping, and he's saying, I'm not God. What are you talking about? I have forgiven you. Okay, so this is a huge deal. Joseph obviously knew forgiveness. Obviously in his heart he had to deal with this before he met them again. And that was only possible because he had an actual relationship with God. And with God, he could receive that forgiveness. With God, he could learn that forgiveness that he had to express to his brothers. Otherwise, when his brothers showed up, he would have just taken out, the biggest fly swatter in the ancient world, and would have dealt with them as with mosquitoes, and it just would have swatted them to death. and it's just like crazy. He is the one who is the offended party, and he knows about forgiveness. He knows how to forgive. He understands the whole thing, and he says, "I am not God. This is like a God thing. You need to learn this. You need to have that relationship with him and understand and learn to receive it." But his brothers did not, and therefore they kept trying to get his forgiveness, even though he had already given it. They just kept begging for it again and again and again, which is kind of crazy. And also, they try to get it by repeatedly paying for it, like we are your servants, just forgive us, yeah, it's a crazy story. So when I don't know how to receive forgiveness, when I don't learn that from God, I'm gonna live like that. I'm gonna keep trying to pay for stuff that is forgiven already. I am going to beg for it again and again, even though it's taken care of. I'm going to keep bringing it up when it's already gone, and I need to learn that from God, else I will not be able to receive it. So that's just some chow for meditation for the morning. God bless your day.